Welcome, everyone, to the Insurance Perspectives podcast. This is part 2 of our series on Liberate. On today's show, we have Amrish Singh and Jeff Arnold. Gentlemen, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me.
We're super excited. Once again, thanks so very much.
I am too. I'm pumped up for this one. In case you missed part 1 of our series on Liberate, please go back and listen to hear more from Amrish in Liberate voice. For part 2, we turned to mutual customer of HawkSoft and Liberate's to learn more on how Liberate is used inside a real independent agency. Jeff Arnold is the president of RightSure. He's been in the insurance industry for over 3 decades and founded RightSure in 2007, an agency priding itself on friendly service and being tech forward. He is a 5-time best-selling author on Amazon and has written a total of 9 books. 9 books. Wow. Originally, he's from a small town in western Kentucky. He now resides in Tucson, Arizona, with his wife, Laura, and 4 young children. Last but not least, he served in the United States Army. So, Jeff, welcome to the show, and thank you very much for your service to our country.
Appreciate that. Delighted to be here. And wow, I don't know who wrote that bio, but again, if my mom or wife could read that, that would be glorious.
We can send it to them. We can send you the clip.
It would not resonate, my friend.
To get us started, Jeff, if you would, tell us about your agency. How many people do you have? Is there areas you focus on? Tell us about RightSure.
We are North America's most awarded insurance firm. We are known for our famously friendly humans, right? Which is really at the core, the ethos of what we are is about our humans. Of course, like everyone else in this business, we earn our living selling legal contracts, right? But we wrap that in technology and our unparalleled, right, human service levels delivered by our famously friendly humans. Quickly, we're in 42 states. Most of our business is generated from a series of 9 different web properties, personal and commercial, mostly personal, about 88% personal.
Well, it looks like you've grown a rather large team. And I mentioned to you earlier, I've had a chance to look around your website. It's a fantastic, fun website. Easy to follow. Talk a little bit about your role and how your role has evolved over your career.
I got started in this business of legal contracts because I was a failed thespian. I wanted to be on the theater and the stage more than anything. And so, like everybody trying to get away from Western Kentucky, I moved to Hollywood, did some comedy, did some theater. Clearly, I wasn't any good, and got tired of being poor, broke, and hungry. So, here's a true story. I answered an ad that said insurance salesman wanted. As cliche as it sounds, I'll be a bit bloviating and pontificating here, but in 6 weeks, I was the bestseller there. And so I'm like, I can do this. I can talk to anybody. And then from there, I just started my own agency in the 90s because I'm an aged man. Fast forward a little bit to 99, sold that to a bank. And at the bank is where I really learned. I got to stand on the shoulders of some really smart men. You know, if you're young or at any age, whatever, when the heart is ready, the teacher will come. And I had many people that were trying to pour into my life before I sold to the bank, but my heart was finally ready. And I paused there because that's when I had the opportunity to acquire 42 other agencies, right, using the bank's balance sheet. And again, I was doing a lot of work, but I was standing on the shoulders of some very smart men, and I was ready to learn. I got to exit that in 2006, started another tech company, exited that, got bored, and started RightSure in 2007.
Author of 9 books, super impressive. Talk a little bit about your most recent book titled, which is AI Forward Leadership, which is a tremendous topic because this is AI is going to continue to evolve rapidly, so rapidly over the course of the next few years. So tell us a little bit about that book.
If you've ever written a book, grown a company, or raised a child, it is a quite fitful experience, right? And the difficulty of writing a book is that balance, that dichotomy of You want to sound really important and smart, but you can't make it too much about you because that won't interest the reader. And what I've been able to accomplish the last 4 books, especially this book, is to suppress the need to impress and lift up the need to communicate and transfer knowledge. Of course, the books will sell however they sell, but the journey for me as an author, I had to rewrite this one 3 times, is just to kill my voice. I mean, I want it to resonate through, but I'm not writing each sentence to impress, right? And it connects with people, and the people that have bought them have told me, yeah, it resonates. The key takeaway from AI forward leadership is certainly it's going to be more prevalent. Companies like Liberate and others that will add AI fusion into all that we're doing. But I tell readers to think about AI not as artificial intelligence, but amplify income, right? AI will not replace you. It will amplify your ability to help more people, to sell more, to scale faster, to reduce expenses. And so that's the main theme. And it's not a how-to. It's on leadership and how to deploy it.
Yeah.
Mistakes we've made and lessons we've learned.
Yeah. What are some of the ways that you're using AI in your business?
Well, firstly, Liberate, the other esteemed guest on this show, and that is the deepest integration that we have, right? I'll dive deep in there for a second. So we use Liberate to answer incoming calls, right? To handle quotes. One of our best web properties is called RightRater.com, right? It's a consumer-facing rating site. Liberate takes all the information, the rate call 1, drops it into our rater, and then transfers it to one of our famously friendly humans for rate call 2 and 3. So that's the primary way. Secondary is for servicing. In case your listeners didn't hear the first episode, which I agree they should rewind and go back and hear that, we've done thousands, literally thousands of calls with Liberate's help and their integration with HawkSoft, with ID card fulfillment after hours, with windshield claims, with regular claims, with transferring calls to service centers for those insurance companies that offer it. And so that's one way we use AI. The most integrated is with Liberate. We also use some AI to post all of our social media, right? And to write all of our newsletters. And then we use an AI training platform that all new people have to complete 30 hours in the AI training platform that is built with our standards and benchmarks, which again, pointing your readers back to the first show to learn about our -10s and +10s. Those are built into our AI training agent, and we force new folks to complete 30 hours of that.
If I can just add a little bit, and going back to Jeff's book, one of the things that appealed to me was he offered very specific advice and lessons learned in deploying AI. I've had the privilege of knowing Jeff now for several years now. And when we started our work a year back, he was one of those people who was able to see a vision and then execute against the vision. But he also wanted to make sure that this wasn't just a surface level AI thing, right? This was, deep to the business and deeply focused on, changing how they provide service back to their customers. And for me, the book was a great way of encapsulating all of those learnings in a book, and that showcases, how to do that. The idea about not being AI shackled, the idea about, not just doing surface level AI work. But I've seen this in real life. Over the last 1 year, what I was impressed by is that Jeff found an AI technology. He deployed it in one specific use case for one property, saw that work, and gradually expanded this across other aspects. But the thing that was impressive here was he had the vision of what it can be. And I talk about, the Optimus Prime challenge that one has with AI, where they just think they're buying something that's going to be magical and will solve all problems. And, that's kind of being AI shackled. That is not what Jeff did. Jeff started with something small and basic. He saw the value. We demonstrated the proof points, and gradually he expanded across his business. And I think that's been, for me personally, really, energizing to see that someone saw the vision, but then built a roadmap to deploy this in their business.
You mentioned a couple things there that is, Jeff has used in, some of his communications, which is I think it's a good way to evaluate and audit our tech, which is Either your tech is going to make you tech forward, tech enabled, or tech shackled. So, Jeff, can you touch on that just a little bit? And I mean, I think it's a good thing for our listeners to hear and maybe implement. Is this piece of tech something that's helping us, hurting us?
There is a dance, and anyone that has tried to deploy tech or dealt with an insurance company that has deployed tech, this will resonate with you. You can't go out and buy tech just for the sake of you want to be tech forward and deploy it. Because very quickly, if your people aren't bought in or doesn't solve a pain point, all of a sudden you have handcuffed yourself, and we call that being tech shackled, right? You can be tech forward and tech enabled by certain software as a service platforms and deploying them, but it has to start with what pain point are you solving, right? And that's a great segue into why Liberate was the perfect solution for us. And so the pain point for us was one of our web properties, RightRater, like I was telling you, we had lost a very large customer. They were generating about 20 million in premium for us a year. We could not keep up. They needed to triple that volume, and we couldn't hire people fast enough. And it's because it was taking our people 15 to 17 minutes to intake the information on rate call 1. And so Liberate literally compressed that time from 17 minutes to 2 minutes and 12 seconds, right? And this is not one best case scenario. This is on average, the mean curve, 17 minutes to 2 minutes and 12 seconds. So it allows us, that time compression allows us to scale, answer more calls faster, right? Handles off to famously friendly human after all the data is gathered, right? So we have the ability to compress the time, scale it, and it works 24/7, 365. So had we not deployed it correctly, it could have shackled us, right? If we tried to make it do all things, but we knew that we needed to solve one specific pain point. In the beginning, that was answer more calls, process more quotes. And now, of course, we've extended it to claims and first notice of loss and service. Yeah. But the beginning was it solved the time compression piece for us.
So when you were searching to solve that pain point, what made you decide on Liberate? I'm doing a little research on you. I think you vet, programs very heavily before you partner with them. So what made you choose Liberate?
Here's the deal. I almost missed out on this wonderful relationship. And this is so odd. I kick myself to this day. So we knew we needed to solve this pain point. And I don't know if you know Liberate or who they're, but they have an all-star team. I mean, they have Tom Freeland, Stuart Ganish, VJ, of course, Amrish, and Jacob Jared St. Pierre.
Jason St. Pierre.
Yes, I'm sorry. Sorry, Jason. Anyway, I would keep going, but I'll miss somebody. It is literally a who's who of thought leaders in our industry, right? And so one of those, Mr. Freeland, Tom Freeland, great friend, had approached me like July or August before we deployed in December, said, hey, this is what I'm doing. You need to check it out. I said, no, we have too many initiatives. I can't do this right now. And so I delayed this joyous relationship for 6 months because I just had so many initiatives. Luckily, he's a good friend. We talk all the time, and he kept updating me. And so finally, in December, I think, of last year, or maybe the year before, time skips my brain, we started integrating with them. I mean, it's just been super easy and super fast. So the short answer, we certainly did our due diligence, but there's literally an all-star, not only executive team, but a coding team of tech geniuses behind the brand of Liberate. So it made it an easy choice for us.
What is, you're already using so many aspects of Liberate. What are some things now that you're considering to add and build on to this already existing program, or have you done it all already?
Oh, no, we're definitely students of Kaizen, right? Yeah. Continuous improvement, process improvement. Here's what I desire, I covet, I want us to get to, and we may be a few years off. Liberate will be able to deliver a rate call 1, 2, and 3 rate call bind process in the future using AI. And I want to be at the forefront of that. And I don't only want to be at the forefront on personal lines. I want to do more commercial lines and small business lines, or on these. Now, not everything can do this, right? It's the commoditized policies that we can do this on. Large risk and some things going to need more. They can certainly do the rate call one in that, but I cannot wait till we can deliver the full rate pay bind experience using AI. And Liberate's going to be the first to this, I guarantee you, just with the integrations they have with everyone. So that's what I hope for our industry, and that's what I hope for our partnership between RightSure and Liberate.
Just to add to that, I think one of the things that attracted us to this partnership with Jeff and RightSure was the fact that we had shared alignment of vision, right? And I mentioned this in the previous episode. I firmly believe that we're moving from a world of human only to a human plus AI workforce. I firmly believe that organizations in the modern era are going to be those that have millions of dollars in revenue, 20 employees, and armies of AI agents all working together. And the idea here is there'll be many more of these companies, right? So a lot of the insurance agents that work today, they will want to start off their own business and they'll want to become their own business owners. And so the proliferation of providing service back to the end customer will only grow over time. But the real opportunity here is, AI is advancing at a really fast pace. Today we're at a world where the AI Nicole is answering phone calls, answering emails, answering SMSs. She's going and end-to-end resolving requests. She's end-to-end entering information for a rate call one, handing off to a licensed agent. She's end-to-end resolving an ID card request, a COI request. She's collecting endorsement requests, working with a human workforce to process that eventually, as long as especially if it's a licensed activity. And she's end to end, doing all of those transfers that agencies often are inundated with when in terms of phone calls coming in. But if you fast forward this out, the science is evolving. Its ability to do more is growing over time. Its ability to understand the rules and regulations that govern a really tightly protected industry is also growing over time. And so I agree with Jeff. I think we foresee a world where the AI is able to do an RC1 to an RC3 to a bind. We see a world where the AI is answering every email, answering every phone call, resolving every request, while still ensuring that you're elevating the human experience. Because there are things that customers are going to call in and they want advice. On the small business commercial side, if you're opening up a new restaurant or you're opening up a new florist shop, you need advice. And the person you go to is your insurance agent. If you're looking to expand your commercial trucking fleet, you're talking to your insurance agent. If you're looking to buy a new car and you're thinking about the cost implications, you're talking to your insurance agent. Those things are always going to be the human element of insurance, right? I have home insurance in California. I speak with my insurance agent to get all kinds of advice. Do I add an earthquake? Do I change my carrier? All of that is a relationship that the consumer has with the insurance agent. But the world of handing off those really common mundane things, that's where AI is going to really shine over time. And it will end to end start resolving a lot of these things. We're probably 20% of the way there. The science is evolving, but I love the fact that Jeff and we have a similar vision.
Imagine for a moment, right? We get outside of our selfish wanting more business in the insurance agency space. And now, I've run an insurance company and agencies, and this is for company folks too. You at your agency, me at my agency, we have tens of thousands of customers. Let's imagine 5,000 of those are in the path of a hurricane. Why can't we meet the customers where they are? We just upload the zip code of those customers into the Liberate database. It's calling out as Mr. Boldt, we recognize you're in the path of the storm. Here's your policy number. Here's the claims number. Here's where if you have any problems. We proactively reach out and touch them, which will become the expected service level. Don't get me wrong, right? That we're anticipating what's coming their way, reaching out to them, giving them tips, giving them information in advance, because if they're in a storm, they don't know where anything's at. And we've landed it right on their phone. Here's your policy number. Here's a number to your carrier, and here's our number. These are other ways to wrap AI around the service experience. Like right now, we're selfishly thinking, top line revenue, how do we decrease expenses and get more sales calls? But when you put the customer at the center of the operation, say, how can I serve them better? You could do that for claims, Or if it's in California and they're in a wildfire zone and there's a fire coming, you deploy your Liberate notification for losses to make outbound calls to that. Again, 1 or 10,000 calls, it doesn't matter. It can do it instantly.
Everyone struggles with outbound dialing, right? You're hitting voicemails. You're stuck in an infinite loop of playing phone tag with your customer. The AI can do as many calls as you want in parallel, as long as you have consent, as long as they're a customer. She can contact them. She can prepare them for an upcoming claim event. She can provide guidance on what to do if that happens. She can also qualify leads, right? People are calling you, contacting you. They want to get information. They want to get a quote. She can do an infinite amount of outbound dialing and contacting in order to get a licensed agent on the line, but only in that 5% of the cases where somebody does want to talk to someone.
Yeah.
The rest of the cases, you're just wasting time.
This conversation kind of leads me into my next question, which is, none of the tech platforms that we purchase come out of the box how you want them and how to operate. So, Jeff, you would speak a little bit to what that process was like coordinating with HawkSoft, because a lot of these initiatives that you're talking about, they all relate to gathering the data from HawkSoft. So how did that work? What was the process of getting that set up so Liberate could communicate with HawkSoft to deliver this data?
Well, it is a dance, of course, right? Some back and forth. They don't want to just open up their platform to anyone, and everyone wants to get in. And so they have to do their due diligence and their vetting. And so with some introductions and some handoffs, and I'm in no way taking 100% credit for this, but certainly we're a voice of reason that suggested this would be a good integration, because we're large partners and we're all in on Liberate, and we're certainly all in on HawkSoft. It'd be great if the two could align and get connected. Again, it wasn't just my voice. I don't have that kind of power, but mine and other people who are respected by both entities got it leveraged to the right ears, and it happened. But as far as out of the box, like you were saying, Liberate and HawkSoft both have kind of like, we'll call it an offering feature, but then you customize it to however you want.
Yeah.
Anyone that's a user of HawkSoft knows that you need to join the Hug group if you're going to go deeper into understanding. And I would submit to your listeners that anyone, when you deploy Liberate, that the first version you deploy will be greatly changed by the third or fourth month, just because you become more comfortable with it. Again, there's nothing wrong with either out of the box. You got to start somewhere. But you have complete ability to customize, and that's what you want to differentiate your agency.
Yeah, you have to put time in. You have to put time into any tech platform. It's not just going to do what you want it to do. You have to instruct it. You have to be intentional about it. Jeff, you talked a little bit about constantly improving. What are some ways that you'd like to see RightSure improve their operation in 2026?
Well, thank you for that. We are right in the middle of all of our leaders going through a succession plan, not because we're planning a sale, but because we're trying to transfer knowledge down through the organization, right? And that involves understanding where people are at now in their leadership skill sets, which could be different than their management skill set, which could be different than their understanding of our operational culture, values, or benchmarks. And so all of our leaders are currently going through a succession plan. We've identified their strengths and weaknesses. Again, this is really easy when you're just trying to get people to a +10. You're not trying to counsel them. You're not destroying anyone to correct the behavior. You're just saying, here's where we need you. Here's where you have to understand our use of technology. Here's how you have to understand our operational benefits. These are our financial metrics. And so what we're doing in 26 is doubling down on that, going deeper into the succession planning. Personally, I'm going to write some more books and do some more. My passion right now is giving back. It really is, and transferring knowledge. This industry has given me 30 years of anything I could dream of. It's kind of fulfilled, right? And so I want young people to get as passionate as the three of us are, right? We know what a great industry it is, and the fulfiller of everything you can dream of can happen here. So a large part of what I'm doing in 26 is speaking to the field mice behind my home, to small groups in church, to little high school things and college things. And so I'm trying to be an ambassador for this industry.
Gentlemen, I want to thank you again for this very insightful, entertaining conversation. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show today.